Hey guys, welcome back to Prem Talk. It's been a while since we last spoke to you. Sorry, we're back. But before we get into it, please smash a like on the video, subscribe, comment your questions. A lot to recap and get into, guys. Leicester are absolute bottle jobs, are they not? I mean, I think that historically, going back, their loss to Tottenham, I think is the biggest like choke in the history of football.
That happened
Yeah,
over what, 20 game seconds between the two
Yeah.
Bergwijn goals at the end? That's unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
yeah.
That is unbelievable.
I don't know, because obviously I'm not a massive Spurs fan. I don't want Spurs to win anything, but I'm happy for Bergwijn because I personally like him as a player. So, and he hasn't played a lot. I remember when he first signed for the club and he played that first game versus Manchester City, where he scored that wonderful goal. So, we haven't seen too much of him since then. So
It
I'm
brings
glad.
up interesting questions about his transfer because I saw some rumors that before that game he was
Me
looking to get
too.
offloaded in January, and then
Me
that
too.
goal to possibly Ajax, I think I was seeing. So that goal
Yeah.
could increase his stock. I mean, 2 goals in 79 like total seconds. Like,
I don't know. It's interesting because I see like a lot of Tottenham fans online really don't seem like they fancy him too much. And I think he's a great player. Like I think he'd be a good player for any big club because he's so young and he has like a whole bunch of potential. Um, so I mean, maybe come to Chelsea.
I don't know.
I mean, it's from a Spurs perspective, it's unbelievable. I mean, I think that's season defining for them just because Conte's still unbeaten in the Prem. He still hasn't lost. They're still riding the wave. Those 3 points dropped. I tell you, I was sat at the pub watching United, and there was a 45-minute like difference between the Spurs kickoff and the United match yesterday. So I sat down, and there was a bunch of Spurs people in the booth right next to me watching that match, and they're ready to leave. Like 94th minute, they were ready to leave. Bergwijn scores. I was like, all right, end of the day, they dropped 2 points, whatever. And then I see Bergwijn corner of my eye just go on a run again, and then he's in, and then he scores. That is three massive points for Spurs. With still 2 games in hand for their top four hopes is absolutely massive. Because they lose that, and they have Chelsea at the weekend. That's should be another 3 points dropped. They actually got away with so much. They escaped a really bad situation with those 2 goals. And I think come May time, when the top four is done, they're gonna look back at those 3 points saved at the King Power. Unfortunately for us.
Let's be
I
honest.
mean, absolutely. I mean, that's going to be a huge game this weekend. It's going to be defining for our season too. I mean, if Chelsea doesn't win that game and Tottenham has a couple games in hand, and we're playing the way we're playing, like, could spiral a little bit. Could happen. It's happened in the past.
I mean, let's be honest though. Chelsea love a draw right now. So all we've been doing is drawing
Sam,
games. We lost to
Sam,
City.
you've got a lot of ties on your rack up there. Have you gone tie shopping?
No, no. I mean, I'm browsing. You know.
See, when we played Brighton at the weekend, or when we played them, it was just so bad. Because for a while, it was all right in the first half. And then they honestly deserved the match. Honestly. They came out and they played very well. They did very well going forward. And then this is where I don't understand sometimes is they make their subs, which was impactful on the game. And then Tuchel waits until the 80th minute to make a triple substitution. And then that is finally where we get to see us going forward and making more attacking sequences. So I just don't understand, like in the manager's case, why he waits all that time to put impactful players. What are you smiling about?
Why are you laughing for? What, Chris, why are you laughing for? Why are you laughing for? I'm being serious. I'm being serious.
What's going on?
No, I don't know. I'm not sure. I have no idea. I'm not sure. But Mel and Sam keep smiling and they make me laugh. I'm so sorry. You're on a good run.
Sorry, it's just my roommate just came in and said, "Can I use the blender?" And now he's gonna use the blender, so I had to mute myself. Sorry.
Yeah, I just didn't understand why Tuchel has to wait until the 80th minute to make a triple substitution. That obviously very much impacted the game. It saw us going forward a lot better. So I just didn't understand why he waits that long. And this is where sometimes I get a little bit frustrated with Tuchel because in the game before that as well, I just thought the people that he put out in his starting lineup wasn't exactly the best. He put out Ziyech on the left, and I think Pulisic it was on the right, like both of their non-natural sides. And I don't get what he's doing. It's almost like he's trying to lose us points. And it's everybody wants to back Tuchel, and yeah, he's a great coach and he won us the Champions League, but it makes you wonder, what if he didn't win the Champions League? Like, would he still be employed right now? Because obviously Chelsea had that history of just sacking off managers, and it's like when there's a bad run of form, not like we've been losing a bunch of games. It's just been tying. We haven't lost a game in a very long time until Manchester City, but it's just like small little mistakes that I see in the manager that worries me a little bit for the end of the season as title contenders. I mean, I'm not sure we're much in it right now since City are so far away, but it's just worrying for the future, in my opinion.
You're not in the title race. It's gone. Liverpool's not in the title race.
Yeah, it's
You're not in the title race.
Yeah,
It's gone.
it's
It's so clear. Congrats, all the City listeners. You've won your title. But carry on.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Nate. I mean, but I think that it seems like Tuchel wants to bring skillful players, whether it's Hudson-Odoi or Pulisic, alongside Ziyech to pair with Lukaku, trying to ping balls in. But like, it was clear that Ziyech was just not pinging those balls in. I don't understand the substitution. I don't understand the timing of the substitution. I was hoping Mount would come on way earlier, if not be starting the game. I feel like he's our most impactful player going forward. But then also to bring off Lukaku going into the end of the game where we're going to be putting more balls into the box. Havertz just cannot compete physically with the center backs at Brighton, especially. They are tall and physical, and they just couldn't handle it. I mean, and then this weekend playing Tottenham, it's going to be a huge decision for Tuchel to see what team he comes out with, whether or not he starts Mount. I hope he does. And what center midfield pairing is going to be very interesting too, because Brighton did play very well against us at the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Like, Tottenham and Chelsea right now, it's two very defensive sides. So it's going to be interesting to see what either of the managers, if one of them is going to try to employ a more attacking play style in their game. Obviously, in the last game, we saw Chelsea, they played almost more of like a 4-2-2-2, which also had me quite confused. But I don't know if we could see like a formation change, because obviously both of these teams have a 5 in the back defense. And of course we have Chilwell and Reece James are out. Of course, I think Reece James is getting back on the pitch a little bit today, but he's still not match fit. So I don't know if we'll see another 4 in the back from Chelsea, and maybe we'll try and push the ball forward a little bit more and actually generate some attacks, since our attack is really what's lacking right now. But I think it'll be a very boring game if both managers decide to employ a defensive tactics.
Well, I tell you, boys, you guys gotta be careful, because I tell you right now, obviously, this is a big if, but let's just say you guys played 23 matches. I think you've played the most in the Prem, or you're up there. You've played all your matches.
We haven't stopped. Everybody else
Yeah,
gets a COVID break except for us, of course.
Okay. Well, did you have enough COVID cases to make it so you didn't have 14 eligible players to play?
There's no reason that's not an excuse. We lost. We tied a lot.
I think I was at the one match where COVID was a problem. It was the Everton match where you drew. I think you had, 5 players test positive for COVID. So I mean,
On top of that, we have all these injuries too. We keep having these injuries. We're almost like Liverpool last season, where we keep having. I mean, obviously Chilwell with the ACL injury out for the season. That's a very big blow, and it almost seems like we're not even trying to dip into the market to find a replacement right now, which is like also very frustrating because the board doesn't want to back Tuchel.
There's an apparent lack of offense from losing Chilwell and Reece James, and I think the only person I really trust going forward for Chelsea is Kovacic at this point. He's the only one who seems to have runs that are going forward, take on defenders, and actually play balls through. Everyone else seems to go backwards or do some skill moves and turn around. But
I was almost kind of surprised not to see him in the starting lineup. Obviously, Jorginho and Conte is like a very surefire midfield, but not very much an attacking midfield. Obviously, Kovacic is the better choice in making those forward runs. That's what he's very good at, basically what he's known for. So, but then it's like very hard. Like, are you going to take Jorginho out and put Kovacic in, or are you going to take Conte out and put Kovacic in so that you still have that?
Definitely take Jorginho out. Do
That's
not
what I
take
would
Conte
think.
out of the
That's what I
starting
think.
lineup. Never.
You have to
Never.
keep Conte in there, and then it's like the fact of whether you're going to put Mount in or not. And it like, I Tuchel leaves
In
him
my
out.
opinion, Mount playing along Timo in that 2 role there with Lukaku up top would be our strongest. I think that while
I think
Timo
so.
has had his fair struggles against like that goal, like he actually stretches the formation. Lukaku should not have to do that. He needs to be able to get balls in the box, and they seem to have good chemistry so far. Ziyech
Yeah.
has not been able to do it, and Hudson-Odoi has been struggling. I think they'd be better as subs off the bench.
I think if we
Lukaku got no service against Brighton though. Got no service.
He didn't. Well, I
pissed
mean,
me off
you would
so much.
see Ziyech play balls in, and they wouldn't even make it past the first defender, and then Hudson-Odoi would constantly make the wrong decision. And then he had one ball. He had one chance against Brighton. That 1v1 that he unfortunately missed. He had, but
I bet on a Lukaku headed shot on target against Brighton in 90 minutes. How does Lukaku not have one header against Brighton in 90 minutes?
there's no
Unbelievable.
service, that's why. But it's also difficult for him to get into the build-up play. But I do agree with your point, Sam, about like Timo Werner because and stretching the defense. I think that would be like I think his best place is definitely to play behind Lukaku instead of in a partnership up front, so that he can stretch the defense like that, as we've seen in the past. Because then that's going to open up and create more space for Lukaku. He's not a traditional number 9 like everybody thinks he is, and that's something that Antonio Conte hinted on when he was playing at Inter. He's a striker with multiple talents. He's not just that guy who sits up top and waits for the ball with the defender on his back. He can do multiple things. He can even play on the wing. So if we had somebody like Timo Werner stretching that defense and pulling defenders away from Lukaku to open up space for him to run into, I think that's the best way to actually get him to score a goal, is not by putting a ball on his head from across. Maybe it's getting the ball to his feet so that he can take on a defender and actually drive towards the goal.
Zeki, how did you feel about Ronaldo getting subbed off in the 70th minute?
Oh, fear. Unbelievable. Unbelievable how mad I am. This is actually unbelievable. Everyone's saying Rangnick knows best. Rangnick knows best. Like he knows did what's best for the team. He goes Ronaldo do what's best for the team. I do not care. If it was any other player, when you have Ronaldo and you have Messi, the two of them, you don't treat them like you treat regular players. You just do not. If we had Cavani playing up front, yeah, take him off 70th minute. But I'll tell you why. And people, first of all, I have absolutely no problem with Ronaldo being upset, getting subbed off. Absolutely no problem with it. Mohamed Salah got really, really pissed off last season, or no, earlier this season or late last season when he got subbed off, and he threw a fit and a tantrum, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay." But when Ronaldo does it, everyone's all up in arms. I tell you, Ronaldo ran around the pitch playing every single possible position for 70 minutes. He did all the running around, all the defensive work for 70 straight minutes when the game was 0-0. In the 70th minute, we're up to or we're up. We're definitely up 1-0. We may have been up 2-0. The game's opened up. He's finally going to get a chance to score. That's what you put in the work for. 70th minute, Brentford are going to go for the game. They're going to go for it. Opens up, and chances are going to fly left, right, and center. And he subs him off. So, I mean, how do you expect him? I mean, he's going to, but how do you expect a striker who's worked his ass off for 70 minutes for his reward at the end of the match, and he's just not going to get it? And sure enough, that chance fell to Rashford. Rashford came on. He had an open shot in the first 2 minutes of coming on the pitch.
But I was going to say, you have to see the light at the end of the tunnel, because at the end of the day, that it was a good thing, because how badly did Rashford need that goal?
He did. I'm happy for Rash. Great. I'm so happy that he got his goal. I'm not saying that should have been Ronaldo's goal, like one for one. I'm saying
way too much, Zeki. Just let him come off.
No, you don't understand. Ronaldo feeds off of scoring. It's his life. He feeds off scoring. Look at how he was managed under Zidane. I'm not taking his prime years. Take that out. When he was 30 plus, what I'm saying even later, like 32 plus, when he starts to transition into that striker role, how he was managed under Zidane, how he was managed under Allegri, you don't sub him off till he gets his goal. That's how he continues. He uses that as motivation. He uses it as fuel. He would have gotten a goal against Brentford, 100%. He would have got one. And now he's going into West Ham, not scoring in the last 2 matches, missing another 2 because of his hip flexor. And now he hasn't scored against Burnley.
But Rashford got his goal. Like, that's the point. Rashford
Yeah,
came
they
on.
both could have got their goal. And okay,
Okay,
why is Harry Maguire coming? The fact that it was Harry Maguire should be nowhere near the pitch. He should be nowhere near the pitch. He got dropped as a starter twice in a row. Varane and Lindelof have had two really good games back to back. Villa was not their fault. They've had
I
two
don't
really good
know.
games.
yeah.
The last match that Phil Jones played, he was man of the match in. Sam, I watched it with you against Wolves. Phil Jones was man of the match. Phil Jones should have been chosen to come off the bench before Harry Maguire. He played better in that one match than Maguire's played all season. Yet Maguire is straight back into the team. Unbelievable.
It's a
I
price
agree
tag.
with Zeki fully. Zeki knows how I feel about Harry Maguire. There's no reason to
Incredible
bring on
run.
an extra defender there. You're up 2-0. When it comes to Ronaldo and Messi, and I was gonna say honestly, it's getting kind of close. You can toss Salah in that the way he's playing right now. You do not bring him off the field. You don't. I mean, you're right. You get him. Let him get the goal, especially in a game where he's gonna get his goal. And you can still bring Rashford on the field. Take someone else out. You don't need to take Ronaldo out.
Made me
You
so
don't need
mad.
to take
And I
Messi out
actually
of the game.
I
Like
think Rangnick got it wrong. I think he got the subs wrong again. And this is my biggest. I'm not Rangnick out, obviously. I love what he's doing. He needs time. First time in the Prem. But one critique I have is that his substitutions are so questionable. They're so questionable since his first match to last match. By the way, us dropping points at Villa was completely on Rangnick. It wasn't on anyone else. It was on Rangnick. The midfield was completely gassed. No energy. Fred, Matic looked like a statue out there. Poor man can't run anymore. He hasn't got 45 minutes in his legs, let alone a full 90. Matic and Fred running around. And look,
90.
the Villa goals, specifically the last one, came from midfield. It was a midfielder, Ramsey, assisting another midfielder, Coutinho, because the runners weren't tracked. Matic left his runner, Fred left his runner because they were knackered, and now
Knackered.
we dropped 2 points because we don't throw on a
You
midfielder
Brit.
with fresh legs. So,
Uh,
well, here's the thing.
Zeki, you're gonna hate me, but I totally 100% ship the Fred McTominay midfield. 100%. I think they play.
What?
Nah.
Maybe,
They,
Bro,
maybe
like,
not
I
McTominay,
get
but
what you
definitely.
mean.
that's like the coldest
I
take
might just
ever.
have to mute Nate
Fred,
for a few minutes.
Whoa,
Nate, you've earned a
whoa,
timeout.
whoa.
mate, I think
You've earned,
when they're in a midfield, there's a goal a game, which is one of their fault.
That's just like not right.
well,
And
Nate.
it's a major fault.
I'll say.
should I put Nate in the timeout?
I very
Yes,
much,
please.
very much like Fred.
I hate both of them. Your entire Zeki and I have had this conversation. Their entire
Well, 1
team
minute,
is
Nate.
not
1 minute.
good.
Just for McFred.
Yeah.
1 minute timeout for you. All right. Just 1 minute.
Wow.
I'll start a stopwatch. No, but
Wow. That's
realistically,
wow.
realistically though, we started playing a CDM. All right, Nate, you can you're back in. But I unmuted you. You're back. Unmute yourself. You're back.
Iron.
It's all jokes, Nate. It's all right. Rangnick wants to play with the holding midfielder and 2 8s now. He wants to play a 4-3-3, one holding mid, 2 8s, and then the front three, like we saw. He played Scott McTominay as the 6, and McTominay, people would say, had a good game. Bad first half, terrible first half, brilliant second half. But all the things McTominay did well were from the 8 position, not the 6. The things he did well were like picking the ball up, driving forward, dribbling, penetrating, getting shots off near the box. That is a box-to-box midfielder's job. It's not a defensive midfielder. Anyone but Brentford, yes, anyone but Brentford, we are punished for that. And if he does that against West Ham, we're going to get punished. Go ahead, Sam.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
What's the deal with Paul Pogba? I genuinely don't know. Like, where is he?
He's leaving. He's leaving.
He's
Oh, I
been
mean, yeah, no,
injured.
he's gone in the summer for sure.
Like, why is he not playing now then? Why not?
Because
tell
he
him?
got a quad strain with France back in like November.
Okay.
No, earlier. It was October, I think. Because the French national team doesn't know how to warm up properly. We lost Varane and Pogba in the same international break, but he's coming back. I think
Conte might have gotten hurt
Not to
too.
warm up properly.
they don't.
The
How
French
do we lose
national
2 of our
team.
most expensive players in the
The
same
French
international break?
national football team don't know how to warm up properly.
Why do they get so many injuries then? They get more injuries than any other national team in Europe.
Because they play so many games. Like,
Maybe
they're
it's
gonna
just-
get injuries.
Pogba got injured in training. Like, he was taking a shot It was like a pop fly shot that was just bouncing around, and he went to just kick it, and he tore his quad.
Yeah,
Joke.
Boom.
that's right.
You calling Pogba weak, Zeki?
Yeah, but the point I was trying to make though is we're probably not going to get top four anyways, which is tragic for so many reasons. But
I was
we will
leaving.
definitely not get top four if we don't get a holding midfielder. We need the person that's most likely right now is Zakaria from Borussia Mönchengladbach. His release clause is 6 million because he's leaving for free in the summer. He's 25. He's a natural
Fine.
CDM, and he's a baller. 6 million is what we'd have to pay. But the Glazers don't understand. We know they're financial. They know they're just business people. They're not football people. Whatever. Just from a purely financial standpoint, you get 50 million pounds for qualifying for the Champions League at the end of the season. 50 million. Having Ronaldo in your team gets you millions upon millions in revenue just by having his face on the social media, having his name on the jerseys. That's how it is. If we don't sign a midfielder, we don't get top four. There's 50 million gone. No Champions League. And Ronaldo leaves. He's not going to play in Europa League. He won't. I don't want him to play in the Europa League. I don't want us to be the club that makes Ronaldo play in the Europa League. Even if he said I'll stay, even if Ronaldo went to the board and was like, you know what, I'll stay. I love this place. Let's stay. I wouldn't let him stay. That's a disgrace. So basically, we don't sign this guy, and you're out 60 plus million. How do I know that? But Joe Glazer doesn't know that. I just don't get it.
You
No
should
sense to me
DM
whatsoever.
Ronaldo. You should DM Ronaldo and tell him to pay for it himself. If he posts on Instagram like 6 times, he can buy him. That's it. It's that easy.
Get some
Barca's gonna
ways.
sell Dembele this week to
Well,
a
that's
Prem
gonna
side,
happen, yeah. No, yeah,
and it's
no,
gonna be
I
Chelsea,
agree with you.
and it's gonna be Chelsea. Abramovich is gonna buy
No,
Dembele.
No, it's gonna be Newcastle.
Prediction.
Sam, I'm telling you right
no
now.
way he goes to
I'm telling you
Newcastle.
right now, Sam. If Abramovich has
It's gonna happen.
he has the choice of signing Ousmane Dembele or Eden Hazard, because we know that they are both destined to leave their clubs this transfer window. He is not going to buy Ousmane Dembele.
I don't think Hazard's gonna be out in January. Barca have actually
That's around this time.
kicked Dembele out. Like the
Right
Xavi
Yeah,
stuff
he's
today.
gone.
They
He's gone this
kicked him
week.
out.
He's gone this
He
week.
has to leave.
The same thing. They said that they have told Hazard that they want him out. They don't want him anymore. And Hazard wants to leave too. I mean, he got his winner's medal for winning whatever the other day. You saw it. He was upset he was so upset. He did not want to be there.
Yeah, I don't think you guys will take a chance because Dembele is a huge risk. He's always injured.
I don't
His
think we're
abilities are
actually
very
gonna-
inconsistent. I don't think he's going to go to a top side in the Prem. I do
would
think
just
though
like it to
he'd go to Newcastle.
I
do think
I
that.
think that's a good shout, honestly, to rebuild at Newcastle.
Newcastle's still gonna get relegated.
But yeah, let's quick fire. Do you guys, since I'm going to United West Ham on Saturday, can we just get a score prediction running around, starting with Nate?
Ooh.
Honestly, West Ham's pretty good side to cut. I'd say 2-3. I think it'll be a high scoring game, 2-3 for United. I think Ronaldo scores a brace. Big claims. One of them's going to be a penalty kick, for sure. There will be a spot in that match.
I think that's an overly optimistic of how much we can score against West Ham.
I don't think we're getting 3 goals.
I don't think we can get 3 goals against West Ham.
I think it's going to be an absolute thriller.
Sam, 3-1 United.
No, West Ham.
Nice.
Wow.
Come on, Mill.
We
Give
don't
me some.
concede 3 goals to West Ham either.
Lanzini, Declan Rice, and Souček.
Don't get Mill started about Lanzini.
Lanzini!
He's
He
going to
scored
drive
a
up.
great goal the other week. That volley. Oh, goddamn.
I think it will be 2-1 United.
Yeah, I was going to go the same thing. Nate, I 3-2 would be awesome, but I don't think we score 3 times. I think we're either going to draw or it's going to be a narrow victory. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Please smash a like on the video, subscribe, comment your questions to be featured on next time. United need 3 points this weekend. Chelsea need 3 points this weekend. Everyone needs 3 points this weekend besides City. So, thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you in a bit.